Hello, and welcome to Learning English. You actively studying English? Excellent. Let's dive into the language with a captivating story. Please remember to subscribe, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. Let's begin. This story concerns a renowned American corporation known as John Deere. John Deere manufactures large machinery for agricultural use and construction purposes. It stands as a prominent company within the United States. Not long ago, John Deere made a significant decision. The corporation chose to relocate a portion of its operations and employment opportunities to a different country. Mexico. This implies that some manufacturing plants in the United States could potentially shut down or reduce their workload. When this decision became public, it sparked a major debate throughout the United States. A great number of people were distressed. They believed the jobs ought to remain in America. To many, this move seemed unjust. The President of the United States also stated his dissatisfaction with John Deere's strategy. He holds the conviction that American corporations should maintain job opportunities within the United States. He mentioned potential measures the government could enact to prevent companies from relocating jobs elsewhere. This narrative is about the consequences of John Deere's decision. It examines the motivations behind the company's choice to shift some of its production. It also investigates the effects on the employees and the towns where these factories are situated. This issue extends beyond a single company. It touches on broader national questions, concerns the future of American employment. It is about where essential machinery and goods will be produced in the coming years. Will other companies follow suit and move jobs to different countries? What are the implications for American workers and their families? What will this mean for the towns that rely on these factories? The John Deere situation illustrates a conflict. Companies aim to achieve success and profitability, frequently by seeking lower operational costs in other nations. However, citizens desire employment and security within their own communities. This results in a challenging predicament. The story will delve into these differing viewpoints. It will present the hurdles that workers and communities are confronting. It will also explore the proposals from the U.S. President and others on how to preserve jobs in America. It is a vital story about the shifts occurring in the economy and their significance for the future of manufacturing in the United States, too. A new factory in Mexico. John Deere, a distinguished American corporation, is constructing a new manufacturing plant. This new facility is not being built in America. It is situated in Mexico, in a region known as Nuevo León. This factory represents a substantial undertaking. It is being designed to produce specific models of machinery utilized in building and construction activities. For instance, it is set to manufacture mini-track loaders and other compact construction equipment. The company anticipates that this plant will be operational and begin producing machinery within the next 1 to 2 years, potentially by 2026. This is a major investment, with costs around $55 million for this single facility. What led John Deere to select Mexico for this new factory? The company has provided two primary reasons. The first major factor is related to expenses. The cost of labor for building machines is lower in Mexico than in the United States. Worker wages are less there. This allows John Deere to produce its machinery at a reduced price. They stand to save a considerable amount of money on product manufacturing. The second key reason is the location. Geographically, Mexico is in an advantageous position for commerce. It is convenient to distribute machines from Mexico to a wide array of markets. John Deere can sell the equipment made there to clients in the United States and Canada. It is also well positioned to ship them southward to nations in South America. Being based in Mexico enables the company to connect with more customers throughout North and South America. A trade pact between these nations also facilitates simpler and more affordable buying and selling. Because John Deere is establishing this factory in Mexico, it signifies that some operations will be transferred from American facilities. This choice has already resulted in job cuts in America. The corporation has downsized its workforce in locations such as Iowa and Illinois. More than 2,100 employees have lost their positions over the last 2 years. Furthermore, jobs specifically for producing certain loader models will be shifted from a factory in Iowa to the new plant in Mexico by the end of 2026. This change will impact hundreds of workers in that Iowa community. John Deere asserts that this does not indicate they are abandoning the United States. The company states it will continue to operate many factories and employ numerous people in America. They emphasize their role as a significant part of America's manufacturing heritage and its future. They intend to invest a substantial sum, possibly $20 billion, in their American facilities over the next decade. The company clarifies that the Mexican factory is merely one component of its strategy to remain competitive in the global marketplace and sell machinery worldwide. Nevertheless, for the employees currently losing their jobs, these future plans do not alter their present circumstances. Witnessing jobs being moved to another country is unwelcome news and underscores it's a major shift for the company and for American manufacturing employment. 3. The president's reaction upon hearing the news about the famous American company constructing a factory in Mexico. The president was not pleased. In reality, he was quite angry. He firmly believes that American corporations should maintain their factories and jobs within the United States. He feels that moving jobs to another country harms American workers, their families, and the communities where these factories are based. The president's core conviction is to prioritize America's workforce. He aims to safeguard existing jobs and motivate companies to repatriate jobs that have been moved abroad. To express his anger and attempt to halt the company's plan, the president declared he would implement a significant measure. He announced his intention to impose a very high tax on the machines the company manufactures in its new Mexican facility and sells within the United States. This kind of tax is known as a tariff. The president indicated this tariff might be as high as 200%. To put this in perspective, consider a machine costing $100 to produce. A 200% tax would raise its cost to $300 upon entry into America. This signifies a huge surge in the final price. The president's strategy is straightforward. He wants to make it prohibitively expensive for the company to sell its Mexican-made machines to American customers. If the equipment becomes too costly, due to this substantial tax, individuals and businesses in America will probably opt not to purchase it. If the company is unable to sell a significant number of machines in America, the Mexican factory may no longer be a sound business venture. It could potentially become a financial burden for the company rather than a cost-saving measure. This is the president's plan to use taxation to shield American jobs and manufacturing. He intends to send a clear message that companies cannot relocate jobs without facing serious repercussions. This measure is a central element of his broader vision. For the American economy, he desires an increase in domestic manufacturing and more well-paying jobs for American workers. He believes this substantial tax will serve as a powerful signal to this company and others. The company intended to reduce expenses through lower labor costs in Mexico. However, the president's potential tax could introduce a massive new cost, rendering the plan far less advantageous or even detrimental to the company's sales in America. This casts considerable uncertainty on the future of the new factory in Mexico. The president is leveraging his authority to combat the trend of companies moving jobs out of the country. He is deeply committed to this objective. This situation poses a major question for the company. Will it proceed with the Mexico factory plan, knowing it might face a huge tax on products for its primary market? Or will the president's decisive action lead it to rethink its decision? It is a significant contest of wills between governmental policy objectives and a major corporation's business strategy. The president is resolute in protecting what he considers to be essential American jobs and manufacturing prowess. His action is aimed squarely at altering the company's business decision by making the Mexico option much less economically viable for selling products in the U.S. market. This is a fundamental part of his strategy to influence how businesses approach production and employment in the contemporary global economy. He holds a strong conviction that American workers and communities should be the top priority. 4. Sad news for a small town in the state of Iowa. There is a community named Dubuque. This is not a very large town. Approximately 58,000 people reside there. For many years, a major factory was central to Dubuque's identity. This facility produced agricultural machines for a well-known American company. A large portion of Dubuque's population was employed at this factory. These factory positions were quality jobs. Employees received good wages. They had benefits to help with medical costs. They also had retirement funds for when they grew older. These jobs allowed families to live comfortably. Workers could afford homes and vehicles. Their earnings also supported other businesses in the town. People used their money at local stores, eateries, and other establishments. Then unfortunate news reached Dubuque. The large corporation that owned the factory reached a decision. It chose to relocate numerous jobs from the Dubuque factory to a new location far away in Mexico. This news was devastating for the town. Hundreds of individuals in Dubuque are set to lose their jobs. Their employment will be eliminated. This signifies that many families will lose the income they depend on. People are beginning to feel extremely anxious. How will they afford food? How will they make their housing payments? What does the future hold for them? Businesses in Dubuque are also concerned. If many people lose their employment, they won't have money to spend at the shops and restaurants. This means local businesses will see their earnings decline. Some businesses might even be forced to close. The town's economy, which is how the town generates money, is heavily reliant on the factory and the workers' wages. Local officials in Dubuque are displeased with this development. They believe the company has a responsibility to the town. They mention their past efforts to support the factory. The residents of Dubuque are confronting a challenging period. The loss of these jobs is about more than just work. It's about altering the lives of many families and reshaping the future of the entire community. The news of the factory's move brings significant problems and sorrow to this small American town. 5. The ripple effect of job losses. When employees are laid off from the factory, their regular paychecks cease. This results in a significant reduction in the money they have for daily expenses. This abrupt loss of income poses a major immediate problem for them and their families. The effect quickly spreads throughout the local community. As numerous people have less disposable income, their spending at local stores decreases. Retail shops, selling clothing, groceries, and other goods, notice this shift. Restaurants experience a drop in patronage. Service-based businesses, such as auto repair shops or hair salons, also observe a decline in customers. This makes it challenging for these local entrepreneurs to generate enough revenue to remain in operation. They may even have to lay off some of their own employees. The municipal government also encounters difficulties. The town derives its revenue from taxes paid by local businesses and workers. With reduced business activity and fewer people earning full salaries, the total amount of tax revenue collected diminishes. This leaves the town with less funding for essential services like maintaining parks, repairing roads, funding schools, and providing social support. The immediate consequence of job losses is like a wave that negatively impacts the entire town's financial situation. The challenges are not confined to the short term. They can intensify over time and shape the future. The decision by a major corporation to relocate production is observed by other companies if manufacturing costs are lower. In another country, other American producers might consider moving their factories as well. This could lead to more factory closures in America and further job losses in other towns and cities nationwide. This would swell the total number of individuals in need of new employment and assistance. This trend alters the landscape of manufacturing. In North America, with a greater volume of goods being produced south of the border, the network of suppliers providing parts and materials to these factories might also relocate to follow the primary
manufacturer.
This change disrupts long-established supply chains and the methods by which products reach American consumers. For the towns that lose their factories, the challenge of creating new job opportunities becomes a more extended issue. Many factory workers possess specialized skills that are not directly transferable to other types of employment. They require retraining to acquire new skills for different sectors. Governments and educational institutions must develop programs to assist these workers, which demands both investment and time. Furthermore, state and national governments may respond to this trend. They might attempt to institute new regulations or provide financial incentives to persuade companies to stay or establish new factories in America. They might also reconsider trade policies, potentially using tariffs on foreign-made goods to make imports more expensive. These political and policy debates are crucial for the future of American industry. The problems initiated by current job losses could precipitate major transformations in the economy and in how America manufactures goods in the years ahead. 6. The future of American factories. The company's decision to relocate prompts consideration of the future. What is the outlook for factories in America? This has become a significant national question. When factories depart, it signifies more than just a loss of jobs. This can also weaken America's capacity for technological innovation and invention. Factories are environments where individuals learn and create with both their hands and their minds. This hands-on work fosters new ideas for the future. For instance, individuals working in factories gain an understanding of how machinery operates, which can inspire them to devise improvements. If these facilities close, it could become more challenging to develop superior machines or new products down the line. The skills that workers utilize in factories are vital for creating future technologies. It is often beneficial to keep manufacturing and innovation in close proximity. Life in communities outside of major metropolitan areas, particularly in rural regions, is being transformed by these relocations. Many small towns are dependent on factories for employment. When a factory shuts down, it creates hardship for the local residents. Families experience income loss, and local businesses lose customers as people have less money to spend. Over time, the character of these communities may change significantly. Some residents might have to relocate to find employment, and the town could shrink as its population declines. A widespread belief is that the United States government must develop new strategies. These strategies should aim to retain factories and jobs within America. The government might need to provide assistance to encourage companies to remain. This could be accomplished through various regulations, such as tax policies, or by offering support for companies to construct or modernize factories in America. The objective is to ensure that companies are incentivized to build and maintain their manufacturing facilities here in the United States, rather than moving them to other nations. And this is known as industrial policy. The future of manufacturing in America remains uncertain. Will more corporations move their operations abroad, or will America devise methods to preserve jobs and build new factories? The outcome hinges on multiple factors. Depends on what companies perceive as best for their business, including costs and market access. It also relies on the government's decisions regarding support and regulation, with the global economy also playing a significant role. There are differing perspectives on the best path forward. Some argue that companies should have the freedom to operate where costs are lowest to maintain competitiveness. Others contend that the government must take greater action to safeguard American workers in factories, as jobs are crucial for individuals and towns. It is a complex issue with no simple solution that satisfies everyone. The discussion about retaining factories in America is of paramount importance. It is not merely about current employment. It concerns the future of towns and cities across the nation. It also relates to America's ability to produce the goods it requires in the coming years and to maintain its technological edge. The challenge lies in finding a balance. Companies understandably want to succeed, but the nation also requires jobs for its citizens and strong communities where families can live and work. This means balancing business imperatives with the needs of society. This story illustrates a complex situation. It is one example of the major questions America is grappling with regarding jobs, business, and its global future. The way these questions are resolved will shape the country for a long time to come. 7 changes for farmers. The agricultural sector is undergoing rapid transformation. New machinery incorporates a great deal of modern technology. Machines are now equipped with GPS for field navigation. They feature computers and sensors, enabling them to plant seeds and apply treatments to fields with high precision. This technology assists farmers in increasing their crop yields and operating more efficiently, however, also makes the machinery exceedingly complex. Companies that produce farm equipment, such as John Deere, are also modifying their operational methods. They are seeking ways to manufacture their machines at a lower cost, establishing factories in other countries. Like Mexico, is one strategy they believe will help them save money. Reduced manufacturing costs could translate into companies being able to sell their machines at lower prices. Some believe this development could be advantageous for farmers. If companies can build equipment for less, farmers might be able to purchase tractors and other machinery at a reduced price. Lower equipment prices can help farmers save money, as these machines are extremely costly. Saving on equipment is a crucial aspect of managing a farm. However, many farmers also harbor concerns about these changes. They raise questions such as, will the machines produced in the new factories maintain the same high quality and durability? Farmers require robust, dependable machinery. They operate in demanding environments. A machine that frequently breaks down creates significant problems and disrupts farm work. Additionally, farmers are very worried about receiving support when a machine malfunctions. Technologically advanced. Machines can be difficult to repair. Farmers require prompt service from individuals who understand the technology, as well as quick access to the correct parts. Every hour a tractor or harvester is out of commission represents lost time. During critical periods like planting or harvesting, this can result in substantial financial losses for farmers. Farmers need parts delivered swiftly, sometimes even overnight. Moving factories could potentially make it more difficult or slower to get this essential assistance and parts to farms. It might take a longer time for parts to be shipped from a distant factory. These changes also have an impact on the dealerships that sell machines to farmers.